Hello, everyone. Today I am going to be talking about my thoughts on the new IGP Manager blog that just came out from Jack Bassford, the boss of IGP Manager himself. And this is called The New Road Ahead. Get into this. He starts by saying, "Let me start by acknowledging the patience of our community to give thanks for how patient you've been in waiting for updates." Yeah, there hasn't been too much talk of where's the next update, where's the next update. It's surprising considering there hasn't been one in a while. It has been a slow year for us. Today I'll explain why, along with some positive news about our trajectory for 2023 and our gameplay announcements for the remainder of 2022. First, I think it is important to give context to what happened behind the scenes in 2022. We're a small indie studio who in February had four full-time developers, including him. Then the war in Ukraine broke out, and two of our four developers were unable to continue their work after joining the armed forces and relocating. I heard about that. It really just screws over. It really screws over them. Plus, I hope those two developers are both like doing well, not getting like any injuries from the war or anything. Hope they're all hope they're all okay, and hope at some point they'll be able to return back to developing IGP Manager. These two developers were key members of the team, and especially important for two updates mentioned in the last vlog, the art updates and the wheel-to-wheel racing. Both devs were with us for a long time, highly specialized and hard to replace. We have not resumed development on the projects they were responsible for yet, instead shifting our focus in several areas, adapting to the circumstances. That makes sense considering that they don't really have the funds to get more developers. I assume they might, but I don't think they do because if they did, they'd probably look for some more. Session is 2023 a year of rejuvenation. His focus for much of 2022 shifted to pursuing investment for IGP games to fuel growth and re-accelerate development of IGP Manager. This meant documenting our vision to several potential investors and taking a lot of time to review the options. He's happy to report that there is a great deal of interest. What companies are interested and like what investors are interested, but I obviously don't know that. Without giving too much away, our focus is narrowed in on a potential deal with one of motorsport's largest media and racing organizations. Well, there we go. That narrows it down some, and and having that investment will definitely help the development process for IGP. He says the process has started some time ago, and we had all expected the deal to be done by now, but numerous factors, incorporating additional parties, global economic conditions, etc., have added delays and extensions to the process. It just takes time to put something this big together, and a conclusion won't be possible until Q2 2023. That's like between I think like April and June or something, or either I don't really know how the economic quarter systems work. I should probably learn about that as I'm a business major, but I'll have to. But I guess that's gonna show up in a future class. But it will be big news for both organizations when we make this happen. While it is not yet a certainty, we're all working towards the deal on both sides. Should it fall through for any reason, then other offers are waiting and other organizations are ready to reopen discussions with us. So whichever route we take, we believe we will rebound strongly in 2023. That's nice. Feature of the game looking looking up because the game's kind of been stagnant for most for since the coronavirus pandemic, I'd say. Well, besides the 3D updates, 3D update was big. There's some major gameplay updates in Q4 2022, which is late in the year. And he says our present development work on IGP Manager is focused on areas of gameplay more easily expandable and readily accessible for development. We will still be adding 10 new levels of gameplay as promised previously. I have some thoughts about the 10 new levels, as I think the 10 new the 10 new levels and how it's going to affect development. Because if they're adding the 30 extra design points, I don't re- you're going to be able to finish design really quickly. Because when there used to only be a cap of 100 per each value, you could finish development like a third of the season, and I don't think it will be that fast. I think you'll be able to do it at maybe like halfway through the season. You'll be able to like max the big four and fuel economy, and probably like 2/3 of the way through the season, you'll be able to max everything if you're a good card developer, which I am not. The extra time created by the circumstances actually allowed us to expand this massively and add entirely new gameplay features. That's a very interesting thing. Another thing I do want to bring up with the 10 new levels is that I'm unsure like how this will affect competitive leagues. It will create an imbalance at least for a couple of years. While people are still leveling up, it definitely changes how the outlook of those leagues. The new features will include driver special abilities. Example: a qualifying specialist will have a boost in qualifying. What's what's something that could happen in competitive leagues there is that people could hoard different types of drivers and use them based on the trucks, like a qualifying one from Monaco, like an overtaking for like something like Great Britain or Italy, etc. and etc. And but besides that, it does seem like an interesting addition. There is the ability to become engine manufacturers and suppliers to other teams and much more. With the engine manufacturer and supplier thing, I'm just unsure how that's gonna work and whether that's gonna come with a bunch of bugs or not. Because a lot of these IGP updates have come with a lot of bugs, and you definitely want to avoid that. Because the first couple of weeks after an update can be very rocky, and it's just not really a good showcase for new players. Each new feature will have added depth and give you more control between races. We have been making great progress on these updates in the background and expect to release all of this before December. More details will be released nearer to that time. These updates will inject new life, particularly to the higher levels of IGP Manager. That's the stuff that I'm. That's the stuff that I like. That's the stuff that I like to stream. The Project Landas, World Cups of the world. We know that many of the higher level managers are ready for a new challenge. I kinda am, but I'm just unsure how it's gonna affect if it's gonna be a positively affect the higher level leagues. I'm not high enough in the IGP system. I'm not even a beta tester to know any of that. In summary, after a difficult year for us and for the world, the future looks promising once again. Our vision has been years in the making, and the setbacks we've experienced this year have ultimately made us more efficient and resilient. I look forward to announcing and releasing all the gameplay updates in Q4, and hope we will have a good news for everyone in early 2023 regarding the potential deal. My overall thoughts on the new deal: I'm definitely excited about that. It will allow more room to improve the game, make it better functioning, have like better bug testing, etc., etc. And I have a lot of worries on the 10 new level system. I'm just not sure if that's gonna be a good gameplay addition, or because we do know that the boost will be like reset. but we don't know how it's going to affect design points, how it's going to affect talent, driver talents, and other driver staff stats as well. It's just all things that could screw up the balance that's present in this game. And also with the boosts, the one thing I'm worried about is definitely driver hoarding, because right now hoarding is definitely a problem with staff, as many people own up to 5 CDs, chief designers, and I feel like that could be the case with drivers with the different abilities, and they'll use different drivers based on which ability that they have, and I have no idea how that engine manufacturing and supplying will work, but it seems interesting. One thing I am overall these I'm overall I I'm not sure how these changes will affect the game, and I'm hoping that they improve the game, and if so, I'll be racing more often. I'm thinking about maybe doing that would be a long-term series about trying to get to level 30 once that gets added. And otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.